We submerge as the gods withdraw. A storm of silence, a broken law. I am born to death, reborn on the high.
They are, in my opinion, conditioned to do that type of behavior because it is cultish, and in Hollywood, there's just a lot of weird cliques and cults.
No, John, I agree with you. Why they start at childhood, why they bring in the children, look at Ariana Grande. I mean, that's another one right there. What about this other girl? Forgot her name. Where they've been showing photos of her now. She has tattoos all over her face. She used to be a Disney girl as well. That whole generation of kids that went through that machine, it was such a tightly driven machine. It had like Matt was saying, from the 1940s and 50s, so many kids went through that same machine.
John brought up an interesting point, and you're talking about some more of the assassinations listed, and circumstances surrounding Marilyn Monroe. So
to an absolute.
Gone once.
He's on twice.
Gone twice. That's it. Done.
Shazam has the cutest PFP, but is that a piglet or is it like a gopher? I can't figure it out. Okay, a gopher. Gopher?
It's a bald monkey.
It's precious, though.
That's what it is. Talking about Hollywood tragedies, Rob Reiner. Is it Rob?
Yeah, Rob Reiner. Yeah.
Terrible tragedy.
I don't know.
What's the conspiracy behind that? I'm sure something has come up already.
Yeah, I don't think he was a very good person. I'm not saying he deserved it, but
No, he's a kid with mental problems. He's been a kid with mental problems since before he was 15. It's if you look at any photo, just go to the internet and look at any photo and look at his eyes. You can see there's disease in there. You can see there's pain in there. You can see there's trauma there. And that just built and built and built. And then the movie that he made with his father, I immediately watched it, about, a kid who's rich, who has mom and dad who are rich, and they kick him out, and he goes to live in the streets. And I don't think they show even a reflection of what this kid went through on the streets. And I think he was a super drug addict that was willing to steal from people, that was willing to steal from his own mother and father. He was willing to do whatever it took to keep the trash can dumpster style drug addict life, and he was willing to take anything. He didn't care as long as he was not feeling the pain and the trauma and the drama. And there might have been a moment of clarity in his life, but it seems as though, from what everybody says at this party, that he was super, you can think about all these people, super A-list stars hanging out at each other's houses, Christmas, Hanukkah, first night, this one kid, stoned or drunk out of his mind. Fuck you, Bob, you fuck. They're all like, whoa, what's going on over there? You know that's what happened. And then they got home, and then that turned into an absolute great situation. guy stabs his mom and dad. That's the part where it's just like, you went that far, bro? Like, really? Come on, man. Like, what? There's nothing. I mean, I'll let everybody else talk, but there's nothing that my mom or dad could have ever done that would get me there. And I'm pretty crazy.
Maybe he was taken over by aliens or AI.
Talking about.
How are you, John?
Oh, sorry, John.
Hold on 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to move the conversation on. Hi, John. How are you, sir?
Yeah, the Rob Reiner thing with his son that's effed up. You know, Rob Reiner was kissing his dad on his lips. Rob Reiner was kissing his son on his lips. There was some, you know, that kid was full of ghosts and demons. And Rob Reiner met with the head of CIA, NSA, formulated a Trump takedown plan. And anyways, I'm just saying that there's all kinds of really strange people. And if you study history, there's so many crazy people that do so many crazy, weird, bizarre things. Thank God Donald Trump is our president and not Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I do think everybody ultimately gets blackmailed and surveilled and manipulated, but that's life. If you, like Kanye says, yeet, he says, if you can't be used, you are useless. And, you know, Rob Reiner's son, God rest, you know, God, it is so disgusting what he's done. And, you know, some other actors, I guess he got in a fight at some party and everybody was worried about him. But anyways, I like to say there's not a speck of dust out of place in the whole universe. I hope everybody here has a great weekend. I hope health and wealth and love and joy fill your heart and wisdom. And I am complete. Thank you for letting me make my packet submission. I hope it was somewhat proprietary.
Nice job, John. You know what?
That's the fact, Jack!
Welcome to the stage, John.
I was going to say, because Stephanie was joking about getting taken over by AI, there's a story about a guy who was talking to ChatGPT for months, and he like lost his job, his family lost, we're like, we don't want to talk to you anymore.
Versus mouth, someone who lived.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, so there's that are like
Addiction to that, aware painter.
Paul, can I just say something real quick to comment on?
Yeah, jump in.
You know, Pavlovian experimentation is all about essentially hypnosis and mind control and time control. And so those prison experiments with the lethal voltage is actually a demonstration in communication theory, which is all communication is hypnosis. Now, a lot of people rejected the suggestions when, you know, they were going to do the lethal. Not everybody actually went lethal, but even a lot of the people who went lethal, they knew that it was a simulation. So to present it in this type of like the fact that people have this ability to commit murder on command, it is dimensional and different, you know, frames on it. But the fact is, all communication is suggestion. And so we're all a product of our conditioning and the course of our entire lives. And a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of the trans, because of transpersonal psychology and other cults that view trans ideology as being some type of synthesis of some sort, but the point is, they are, in my opinion, conditioned to do that type of behavior because it is cultish. And in Hollywood, there's just a lot of weird cliques and cults.
No, John, I agree with you, which is why they start at childhood, why they bring in the children, why they. I mean, look at Ariana Grande. I mean, that's another one right there. What about this other girl? Forgot her name. Where they've been showing photos of her now, where she has tattoos all over her face. She used to be a Disney girl as well. That whole generation of kids that went through that machine. It was such a tightly driven machine. It had, you know, like Matt was saying, from the 1940s and 50s, so many kids went through that same machine.
John brought up an interesting point, and you're talking about some more of the, you know, the assassinations and can that be controlled through mind control, etc.? We look at, like, I would even submit, like, Sirhan, I believe was the assassin who took out one of the Kennedys back in the 60s, right? And we've seen that these MK Ultra mind control operations somewhat have a lot of validity to them. And that through this mind control, again, we're even just we could look at the Charlie Kirk incident. We could look at a lot of these incidents where we see MK Ultra and mind control. Yeah, John, I know your hand just shot right back up. Jump in. Speak up.
Well, before John jumps in, I want to say Darren Brown's a mentalist out of England, and he did a whole entire episode about this, and he actually kills a very famous. Well, he doesn't really do it, but the guy wouldn't have done it. He was hypnotized, and over the course of a very short amount of time, was turned into an unknown killer. I'm going to post it up now so you guys can watch it.
Bitcoin Bella was right though. Adrenochrome is real. That's what I'm gonna say. Drop the mic. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, talking about like MK Ultra and chemical experimentation with suggestion. That movie, Clockwork Orange, when the murderer undergoes, he has these paper clips put in his eyes and drops put in, and he's flashed a bunch of videos. It's a little bit like Fifth Element, where she can download all this information. The point is, we are all conditioned at birth up until now, this very moment. And if you go to a movie theater, you get put into alpha brainwave state. You go into a catharsis or a gnosis or some type of altered brainwave, which is really like a meditation. It's just putting you into focus and concentration. And so what you listen to, this is the secret of life, in my opinion, is that the reason why the earth has an ear in front of it is because your success in life doesn't depend on what you see or what you say, but on what you hear. And so when you know that hearing and the ear is the truth of the now, you understand the power of communication and how much unnecessary communication we are all subjected to all the time, because the whole system of communication is one giant spam. One huge spam network like Facebook. It's just a spam network of advertisements, just like how Craigslist is actually just a classified ad. So what I'm trying to tell you is be mindful of what, because a lot of these poor, sorry people who find themselves in horrible predicaments were lied to, manipulated, and they listened to it and they bought it. So don't be the patsy, don't be the fool, transcend to the state of the sage and beware of the manipulation through communication, and that will liberate you in the now. And you will realize that the person telling you that bullshit, whatever it is, you will realize that they are essentially communicating to you through what we call hypnosis. That is my submission packet. I hope you consider it proprietary, and I am complete.
John's on it today. Like, yes, sir, 100%. I want to add into that.
According to his teaching about hypnosis, we should take everything John just said with a massive sack of salt, because he could, in fact, be feeding us some form of manipulation to our ears. Sorry.
I want to add on because I've been studying neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis since I was 13 years old, certified since I was 18. He's right? So hypnosis is some form.
You that bull, but what the Jack went to now is
over the course of a very short amount of time, whole entire episode.
A lot of these incidents were
unknown killer. I'm going to post it up now so you guys can watch it.
Bitcoin Bella was right though. Adrenochrome.
Murderer undergo.
That's what I'm gonna say. Drop the mic. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, talking about like MK Ultra and chemical experimentation with suggestion. That movie, Clockwork Orange, when the murderer undergoes, he has these paper clips put in his eyes and drops put in, and he's flashed a bunch of videos. It's a little bit like Fifth Element, where she can download all this information. The point is, we are all conditioned at birth up until now, this very moment. And if you go to a movie theater, you get put into alpha brainwave state. You go into a catharsis or a gnosis or some type of altered brainwave, which is really like a meditation. It's just putting you into focus and concentration. And so what you listen to, this is the secret of life, in my opinion, is that the reason why the earth has an ear in front of it is because your success in life doesn't depend on what you see or what you say, but on what you hear. And so when you know that hearing and the ear is the truth of the now, you understand the power of communication and how much unnecessary communication we are all subjected to all the time, because the whole system of communication is one giant spam, one huge spam network like Facebook. It's just a spam network of advertisements, just like how Craigslist is actually just a classified ad. So what I'm trying to tell you is be mindful of what you listen to, because a lot of these poor, sorry people who find themselves in horrible predicaments were lied to, manipulated, and they listened to it and they bought it. So don't be the patsy, don't be the fool, transcend to the state of the sage and be aware of the manipulation through communication, and that will liberate you in the now. And you will realize that that person telling you that bullshit, whatever it is, you will realize that they are essentially communicating to you through what we call hypnosis. That is my submission packet. I hope you consider it proprietary, and I am complete.
Well, John.
Man, John's on it today. Like, yes, sir, 100%. I want to add into that.
According to his teaching,
about
we
hypnosis.
should take everything John just said with a massive sack of salt, because he could, in fact, be feeding us some manipulation through our ears. So I'm just putting that up.
I want to add on because I've been studying neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis since I was 13 years old, certified since I was 18. He's right.
Certified
So,
insane.
hypnosis is taking the mind consciously through words to get to a certain state. And neuro-linguistic programming is the exact same thing. It's programming the mind through words. One is done through a conscious state. One is done through a quote-unquote unconscious state, which is not real, but it's a lowered conscious state. So I think that what he's saying is completely real and right. If we don't understand our visual, our auditory, and our kinesthetic, how it all feeds into each other, and how what we feed into ourselves, not just our food, but what we see and what we hear, then we can be blinded by anything. There used to be only 5,000 articles of ads in the world that you would see in the 1950s in one day. In one day in New York, you're blasted with over 35,000 per every couple hours or something like that. It's ridiculous. So, you need to be aware of what you're being slammed with, and yeah, just like your friends, the 5 best friends you have, same thing with the 5 best thoughts.
5 best thoughts. I only generally get about 2 of them matter, and then I lose my mind. I lose my train of thought after that. But we're closing in here.
Yeah, I had my last best thought for the week about an hour ago. So that's why I can say that.
It is the weekend, and you're already 8 hours ahead of us over there. Your weekend has already started. We should probably think about winding this conversation down as we're about a couple minutes past the hour, well into stoppage time on our daily spaces.
Yes, sir. It's my turn to go on a bender. I'm going to sound like you tomorrow. That's my. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm going to go out. I'm going to try some NLP. I'm going to watch a bit of Darren Brown first. I'm going to watch The Push, which is the episode that Paul was talking about. I'm going to try some NLP on some unsuspecting people in the bar to get them to buy me free drinks. And if that fails, I'm just going to start a fight, go home. I won't kill anybody. No one's getting stabbed with my watch. People are safe when I get.
Okay, good.
This is all just metaphor for subconscious, unconscious, duality, non-duality. These are just concepts, but these are communications to hopefully liberate people from what you could call a failed society.
Yeah. Need all the help we can get, Hatter.
I think I need some scotch.
Yeah, me too. Somebody needs to go and liberate that poor sheriff. I'm still thinking.
The guy in Wyoming, yeah, trying to shoot down aliens with a shotgun.
Who right now is loading his gun, cleaning his guns in preparation for the Friday shoot.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get you, E.T. Luigi, I'm gonna get you. Don't make a lie on me.
Is anyone here know anybody in Scientology?
I don't know anybody in Scientology whatsoever.
No. Well, I have traveled this country and I have seen massive Scientology facilities in every major U.S. city. And there are some of the weirdest, cultish, strange, alien people you've ever met in your life who really LARP it up with white furs and Rolls Royces and like in a real cult type style, because Scientology's old and it is, you know, connected to the occult. L. Ron Hubbard, I have these L. Ron Hubbard CDs that I've listened to, and to me, he was like exploring it, but then, anyways, it's like podcasting. Anyways, I know.
Yeah, man.
We have another hand up, Bennis.
Oh, Bennis.
How are you? You just jumped up on stage. We're going a little bit longer. Seeing as though you're here, we thought we'd give you a couple minutes to.
Yeah,
Okay. Hello, there's people. Are we putting a training of some kind of theme, or I can shoot a random question regarding Russia?
It's free form.
The more random.
Yeah, more random the better. Exactly.
Okay, a random question. There has been a few lights going on in Russia for the past half a year, but now it's kind of gone. How and why it's gone, or it's just gone under the radar? Thanks.
I couldn't. Was that? Did you say fuel lines are gone? They're missing now.
Yeah, but because there has been many into that.
Bring it to the table.
Venice.
Zelensky beat
Crisis.
Yeah, Venice started a whole thing.
Is anybody here been to Ukraine? Anybody interested in buying a condo in Ukraine? The point is, will we ever have peace, or will Zelensky be essentially some type of a fascist military, leader, media magnet, go-go girl dancer? Like, what kind of clown world do we Americans as the taxpayers have to endure? And I understand, that we are so fully invested, there's no returning. But can't there be peace between these people? 7,000 people a week have to die, ladies and gentlemen. 7,000 a week have to die in drone warfare. For how long? How long? And as Americans, if you're not involved in some type of peace consciousness, peace communication, shame on you. If I speak ill will of Ukraine or Zelensky and you go crazy on me, shame on you. And if you have an accent which is not an American dialect, I hate to tell you this, but you're not the priority in my opinion. I do believe in America first and MAGA. However, we're $39 trillion in debt, and we just keep tacking on the debt, and we keep shipping hundreds of billions overseas in funding for governments and leaders who are. Where's the priorities, America? Is anybody here interested in communication priorities? I am complete. That's my submission packet. I hope it's proprietary.
Appreciate your submission packet, John. As a Brit, let me just say America is not my priority, but I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you. Bennis, you had your hand up. What would you like to say?
As a person who has been in Ukraine, I can say if Zelensky would try to go bananas and dictatorship, he would be eaten by his own people, because Ukrainians are very passionate, full-hearted people, and for Americans, being America first, this is how you should roll. It's all good with that. And for Ukrainians, it is Ukraine first. So, love your country, love the people in need, peace, and I'm out.
Yeah, you get the ding.
That's the fact! Yeah!
We could do a whole other spaces about Ukraine, whether Zelensky is a dictator, why are they still at war. I guess what would you do if somebody moved into a quarter of your house and said they want to keep it? That's the basis of where this all started. So it's murky, it's messy. We're never always going to see eye to eye, everybody, which is why there
Well, the Europeans do nothing but war. World War II, World War I, Napoleonic Wars, forever wars. Europe is forever embroiled in war. It's not just America every 4 years. We go to war. Europe is plagued by some type of specter. And the point is, it's man-made. And it's the evil inclination for ruthless profiteering and ruthless borrowing and ruthless spending to fill up your bank account. For what? Why kill 7,000 people a week? That's 1,000 people a day are dying in active combat, fighting each other to the death every day. It's madness. And every day, it's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Every day, 1,000 people are blowing themselves up on a front line between Ukraine and Russia. It's madness. It's madness. And Putin and Trump, they're both in on what you could call a specter, and that specter is groupthink, and it's killing 1,000 people a day just there. That's not the only hot spot. There's 20 hot spots where 1,000 people are dying a day in active combat. It's theoretical, but you get my point. I am complete.
John's bringing the heat here on a Friday, Hatter.
He is. Only that last package was not proprietary.
I noticed that, so we could actually take that.
We can take that one. Yeah. We can use that one for ourselves. Talking about fighting to the death, gladiatorial battles, to bring it full circle. Let's remember Anthony Joshua versus
that to the death every day. It's madness, and the spending 4 years. We go to war. Europe is plagued by some type of specter, and the point is, it's man-made. And it's the evil inclination for ruthless profiteering and ruthless borrowing and ruthless spending to fill up your bank account. For what? Why kill 7,000 people a week? That's 1,000 people a day are dying in active combat, fighting each other to the death every day. It's madness. And every day, it's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Every day, 1,000 people are blowing themselves up on a front line between Ukraine and Russia. It's madness. It's madness. And Putin and Trump, they're both in on what you could call a specter. And that specter is groupthink. And it's killing 1,000 people a day just there. That's not the only hot spot. There's 20 hot spots where 1,000 people are dying a day in active combat. It's theoretical, but you get my point. I am complete.
John's bringing the heat here on a Friday, Hatter.
He is. Only that last package was not proprietary.
I noticed that, so we could actually take that.
We can take that one. Yeah. We can use that one for ourselves. Talking about fighting to the death, gladiatorial battles, to bring it full circle. Let's remember Anthony Joshua versus.
Who's your money on? Who's your bet?
Okay.
Right.
The fact that those things actually occur, then here's the way it works. You say, well, what better predicts that data? Is it better predicted that if God existed, we would see Hitler? Or is it better predicted that we would not see Hitler? And the thing is I acknowledge that's a tough one for the people who believe in a loving God who's powerful. It's tough to deal with. So I grant this as actual evidence in favor of atheism. I do think this is in favor of atheism, like that there is no God. But I think there is other evidence that I think when you put it all on a scale outweighs that, and then it leads me to the conclusion, like my personal experience, my my understanding of what the scripture says, how I think Jesus said things that changed the world, all these different reasons that I put on the scale, and I think that they outweigh that problem of evil. And so I say, no, I think God does exist. In fact, I'm saying I know God exists, and that's what the discussion's about. So we just go
So I could say, so if I want to join in that discussion, I can say, now this is not my belief, but I can say these are some things I can stack up to prove that God doesn't exist, like slavery.
Yeah.
I think slavery is a good example of God's non-existence.
Yeah.
I think the atrocity that just happened in Palestine, all those people over there prayed hard and fast, and God is not listening to them. So God can't possibly exist if there are honest prayers over there and those people over here. I don't think that because I have a successful life that God listens to me. My prayers heard better. So maybe God may not exist if it's based on prevalent on prayer and worship, because we're both doing the same thing. So if I participate in this conversation, that would be my contribution.
That's beautiful, because that's actually the things that Rob and I often talk about when we're hanging out and whatnot. So the thing is people who say that the Christian God does not exist, they'll bring up things, particularly like if a Christian they're talking to, like myself, believes in the Bible, they'll bring up examples in the Bible where God did things, like when he told the Israelites to go in and kill all of the Amalekites, all the way down to the infants. And then they'll say things like, how can an all-loving, all-powerful, all-knowing God tell people to go slice babies in half?
Or even, anyway, doesn't matter. So you want to read the commentary here that they have for Daniel 7, 13, and 14?
Assalamu alaikum.
Can we read some of these?
Can I get a walaikum assalam?
What's up? Read, what's up?
Jesus Christ is Lord.
Who's Reed?
King Abdullah, Sheikh Epstein. I came to collect the Dead Sea Scrolls. People I see are reading here.
Oh, I want him here. Don't kick him. Don't kick him. Just stay here, because I want you to listen to this. And I hope you got me crashing out yesterday. I hope you recorded that. It was fucking epic. Read.
No, I just got you whispering.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're live on YouTube. You're live on TikTok. You're live on X. You're live on Clownhouse. Go for it, Ultra Megatron.
Good. Sean, yes. Fucking record the crash out yesterday, you piece of shit. How dare you?
I should have.
I wish I would fucking recorded it.
It was glorious.
Yeah. All right, so can we read some of these together?
Well, yeah, but I don't understand how this has any relevance to what I said. Like in the future, bro.
All right.
Like again. Listen. We need to have this conversation. Until the Jews start addressing this argument is still going to be used. And you sitting here saying it's not a good argument, well, I reject that. I haven't heard anything that puts into question my actual fundamental premise on this. There's no reason to hand-wave the Septuagint whatsoever. I think there's plenty of evidence, like the New Testament, for example, that this was something that was meaningful, was readily available. They quote from it. They have Jesus quoting from it. Now, again, if Jesus is quoting from the Septuagint, you're saying that then you give ammo for the fire to suggest that these individuals who composed the Gospels, they were reading the Septuagint, and then they put the Septuagint in Jesus' mouth, where it couldn't be possible that would be the case. So that's what your position actually would give ammo for, because there's physical evidence of the Septuagint in the Gospels. So you either bite that bullet, and then you have an opponent that comes to you and starts arguing like that I have evidence of this being made up because of the Greek Septuagint. There's no reason to think Jesus is quoting from the Greek Septuagint. Bro, like, cook yourself. Cook yourself. Like, I've been down this road.
And I read the RSV.
The implications
I read the RSV. I read the RSV and the NRSV. I'm a Catholic. All the Catholics do is quote from the Greek Septuagint.
Listen. Keep diminishing the Septuagint. You said
earlier
that when they quote from the Hebrew, it had to do with God.
I would be destroying my own tradition.
But you got the gospel authors having Jesus quote the Septuagint.
But you realize no one is saying what you're saying, because even Rabbi yesterday, not the other rabbi,
God's lawyer did challenge the Septuagint.
All right, he can challenge it.
The translation of Psalm. That's what he challenged.
All right, but Rabbi Cav said that he owns a Greek Septuagint and that he reads from the Greek Septuagint. Like, he references it. They all do. They all.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't know why that. I don't see the relevance. I'm just saying my point still stands.
Okay, so your point still stands, but nobody was only God's lawyer that gaslighting, sissy boy, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, was only gaslighting you to say that the Greek Septuagint is not good enough for his standard. Well, you could have easily dismantled that.
I understand that's his argument, bro. That's why my argument is very specific to standard. What's your standard, bro? That's what the whole argument.
You guys should have had me gaslight him. I'm the best gaslighter.
You act like I don't understand his argument, what he was doing. That's why I tried to directly textually. What is your standard? Are you going to appeal to your traditions?
Yeah. They're going to say yes.
Okay, so the traditions are always greater than the text. Okay, cool. That's nonsense.
No, they're not always greater than the text. They're not always greater than the text.
Okay, well, then the tradition has to have support.
It does. When they reverse.
Okay.
So when they, all right. So I'm giving you the evidence. Okay, I'm giving you the textual tradition. I'm giving it to you right now.
Yeah, older than the Septuagint.
They don't have
nearly complete Hebrew Torah.
Stop! Nobody owns
it. Exactly.
So stop asking for that. Stop asking for that.
Exactly.
Right. So stop asking for it.
I'm gonna keep using that argument.
Stop asking for it. There is none.
Absolutely
not. So it's a non-argument.
I'm not letting them off.
You're not allowing.
They don't have anything. They can't actually ascertain.
Now I'm answering
you. That the Greek translation is not accurate.
Okay, so now they have the Masoretic, right, from a 2nd century, and they have one in the 9th century. Okay, so now found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Their tradition from the 2nd and 9th century matched the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Because you're proving that
they're traditional. No, you let me finish.
Yeah, you're proving
so their tradition has been proven. It's been proven.
But it's contemporary, dude. It doesn't.
What are you asking? What's contemporary?
Bro, Barth, I understand the Dead Sea Scrolls. I use that with other... Listen, I'm talking to a Jew, Barth. If I'm talking to a non-Jew, I include the Dead Sea Scrolls. The point was, you don't get to just hand-wave the Septuagint. Can you please...
Nobody's hand-waving the Septuagint.
Bro, yes,
only God's lawyer.
He said, who translated that?
Only God's lawyer was, and you could have used it on him. Because where is he getting this text from?
And I did use it on him.
Okay, you didn't ask him.
And you let him.
No. Stop. When they reverse, all right. So when they reverse engineered the Greek Septuagint, right? Which he's gonna say, he's gonna reverse engineer it, right? Did they or did they not ever reverse engineer the Greek Septuagint?
But Barth, it does matter to my.
You see what I'm saying? You don't have an argument, Draco.
I do have an argument. I have all the evidence in the world suggesting that people would have known the Tanakh in Greek.
An argument.
No, sorry.
Oy vey,
You're not taking any answer.
I'm appealing to evidence. That's what I'm doing.
All right.
From the 1st century.
If there's no evidence, why would you ask the question?
What? Because they are challenging the evidence that the author of Hebrews used, which is the Septuagint. So we're on the Septuagint, bro. Stay on track, Barth.
Yes.
Very specific, my brother. Very specific argument.
If they ask the Catholic about the Greek Septuagint, we're just gonna. You see what I'm saying? You're not even. You want to just overtalk. That's what you want to do.
Bro,
you don't want to have a conversation.
Bro, you strawman the hell out of me this whole conversation.
I'm literally trying to have a conversation. You don't allow an argument.
Oy vey.
You're not taking any answer.
OEV.
Look,
OEV.
you're not taking any
I don't
answer.
deny your answer, dude. That's the problem.
You're
I keep
not
telling you, I don't
taking
deny
any
it.
answer.
How? If I say I don't deny it, how am I not taking it?
So then
Make
you
that make
can't
sense, dude.
ask for a younger text that doesn't exist and think that's the crux of your argument.
Okay, so the Jews need to stop pretending as if the Septuagint is unreliable.
No, it's
I'm telling you,
reliable. Who is reverse engineering the Greek Septuagint?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't
yes,
matter.
it does.
No, because the argument is dependent on the author of Hebrews.
Forget about Hebrews.
It's very specific, Mark. You're all over the place.
Forget about Hebrews.
No, that's the argument you're attacking.
No.
Yes,
Forget
you
about
are.
Hebrews.
Yes, you are. You have been strawmanning. You
do
changed
not
the argument
bring up
that actually
Hebrews.
happened.
Do not
Like,
bring
that's
up
the
Hebrews.
frustrating thing about you, bro. That's the
Do
whole
not
point of the
bring
conversation. That's the whole point of the
up.
conversation. No.
Stop bringing up Hebrews.
No, then the conversation's done. Then the conversation's done because you're trying to strawman. Because Hebrews is fundamental to the conversation, bro. I'm tired of explaining it to you. I am so tired of explaining that to you.
Listen to me. The Catholic Church uses the Greek Septuagint. And even if they get any Masoretic text, they're going to translate it in the Italian. They have people on the payroll that are literally translating things in Italian. Stop over-talking me.
I know, but bro, these are not issues.
Why are you over-talking me?
I get it. You just don't. Because you're not addressing
You don't
it.
want to have
it.
You
not addressing it.
I can't address anything. You keep over-talking.
Guys, I'm gonna have to send you guys down to the audience if you keep it up.
If you want to say it, just continue not to address it. Cool.
All right.
I'll go.
So, anything in the Catholic, in the Vatican, anytime they have a Hebrew translation, whether it fits in, whether it was translated from any language, whatever it is, the Masoretic, or old text that they found, they translate it in the Italian. They have their own Hebrews like translators and scribes. Do you know that? They have people that wrote books and translated hundreds of texts throughout their lives. Okay? And that go from the Hebrew to Italian. Okay? They have guys on like a retainer. They're always doing it. All the time. They have a culture of this. Now you're telling me, right? When they reverse it from the Greek to the Hebrew, and they're going over all these texts, right? And they're right. And they're looking at older texts. And that's right. Because it's not only them that are translating these things. There's people double-checking them that know the language as well. Okay? Did you understand that part?
I
can get pay attention.
Okay,
pay attention.
I
want you to respond to me.
Okay, I'm responding to you.
All right.
When you let me do that.
I'm asking the question.
You already asked. I'm telling you what's the issue. What is the issue with all that?
So now, right? Now that there's a scholarship out there and they're looking at the older texts that were written in Hebrew from the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th century. Right?
What?
I'm telling you. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Show me 8th, 9th century BC documents of the Torah.
Not BC.
Please, for the love.
Not BC. There's nothing in BC.
So guess what, bro? This is what's known
so the conversation's
as a
over.
non-sequitur.
So it's a conversation.
No, it's a non-sequitur.
Answer the question about the scribes.
This
about
has no relevance to the
see what I mean? You don't want to have the conversation.
No, you're projecting. I'm responding to you because I disagree. Therefore, I don't want to have the conversation.
That's what you're
saying.
That's
not how that works. That's not how that works.
That's what you just did.
Unfortunately, that's not how that works.
So, all right. So then, all the manuscripts that the Catholic Church has right, that are double checking the work. They're double checking the Hebrew. Listen, they don't trust the Jews. They don't trust the Jews. They have their own scholars. And it matches. What do you say then? Is their tradition good? Yes or no? I'm asking you. I have a church. Listen, I have a church tradition that goes back 2,000. Pay attention.
Good.
Pay attention to me.
What else do you want from
Listen,
me, man?
Draco, I have a church tradition that goes back 1700 years. Easy. They're double checking the stuff that other Jews are writing, and it matches up. What do you say about that?
Okay,
Do you trust?
Bro, okay.
No, I'm asking you. Does the church? I'm telling you. Do the Christians that double check their work and have their own scholars? Does that verify their tradition? Yes or no?
Sure.
Okay, so then if they have if they're saying they have a tradition, right, and then there's other scholars outside of this first circles translating into other languages, and it's like the Italian, and then they reverse engineer. And they reverse engineer the Italian back to the Hebrew, and it still matches. Right? And then they take that and translate it to the Greek, and it still matches. Are you still then going to say their tradition is not good enough? I'm asking you.
First off, nobody's saying that.
Can you answer the question?
Nobody's saying that. My argument does not presuppose this. You are strawmanning the hell out of me, bro.
I'm not strawmanning. I want to have a different conversation. On this topic.
Hey, Megatron, stop. This conversation ends. No, hang on. I'm going to say my piece. This conversation ends. You're not going to dominate me in my life. Either the conversation ends, or you allow me to respond. No, you're not controlling this. This conversation can end. No, this conversation can end. I'm not letting you control me no more. This conversation can end.
So you never wanted to have the conversation.
You're not going to take this conversation elsewhere.
You never wanted to have the conversation.
You are misrepresenting my actual objection to God's lawyer. Everything that you're saying I have no issues with. You assume my position. You clearly don't even understand my worldview on this, or my epistemology on this, or how I understand it. You are making so many assumptions and assertions about my mental states. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have yet to do that about you in this whole conversation. And every time you respond to me, you attack my mental states, and I'm tired of it. You are disrespecting the shit out of me and my
I'm not trying to.
This conversation either stops.
Or
we can have a conversation and you're not going to dominate it.
Yeah, you can dominate the conversation if you want, but you just don't let me speak.
Don't project. No, do not project.
Okay, this is my argument. My argument is that there are plenty of scholarships out there even till today that not only the Catholic Church and all the priests from the past and monks and Franciscan and just so many scholars from the past, okay, that had good relationships and didn't have good relationships with people, with the Jews, and translating these things into the Hebrew, so on and so forth, were always double checked by other people. The tradition always stood and stands. So if you're going to say that the Hebrew's wrong, and there's other people outside the group that you're saying that people don't trust. Not the saying that you're saying, but anybody says.
I'm saying that a Jew can't hand wave the Septuagint because there's a plethora of evidence suggesting that it was widespread.
Okay, now
cannot refute
what
this.
happens? So what happens when the Jews, the rabbinical Jews from either, let's just say, Russia, France, Germany, Romania, Spain, and they reverse engineer the Greek Septuagint, and they have traditions all over. And then these manuscripts go out, and then the Catholic Church and other people that have scholarship double check their work and double check the tradition, so on and so forth, and they reverse, and it still matches, because I'm telling you that they still match. What is the problem?
I don't see the problem.
All right, so then if they tell you they have a tradition, and there's ways to check their tradition, and their tradition is correct, why is it they're saying their tradition, answering that they have a tradition, is wrong?
I'm going to say this one more time. I have never said the tradition is wrong. I'm
Okay.
saying that the tradition needs a backdrop. I am challenging. Let me finish.
I gave you the information.
Like, why are you doing this, bro? My argument is very specific. You keep telling me I can't use Hebrews. That was the context of the discussion. That is the whole reason.
I didn't want to talk about Hebrews.
My argument is very specific.
Okay, so you don't want to have the conversation about the Greek
It
Septuagint.
doesn't say. I literally said yesterday, I said, look, I didn't even want to bring the Dead Sea Scrolls into this because the topic was on the Septuagint. So
Okay,
I'm
talking about the Septuagint.
On the Septuagint alone.
You're talking about the Septuagint alone.
No,
when we reverse engineer the Septuagint.
That the Dead Sea Scroll tradition is invalid, dude. That wasn't the point of the argument. Can you say this? Can you repeat this for me? That's not the point of the argument.
Okay,
the argument
I don't want to bring up
Hebrews.
Hebrews.
On stage. Let me finish.
I want to talk about the Greek Septuagint.
On stage. They were hand waving the Septuagint. Why are you doing this? I'll let you say what you want to say, but you won't let me talk.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm done. No, you're just going to interrupt me again.
All right. I'm going to put some Wikipedias up of people that have studied the...
Hey, Megatron, I just want to interrupt, and I want to quote John Lee, and I just want to say, can we all just love each other in Christ and forgive each other and not hold grudges and not keep lists in love for Christ and wisdom and joy? Amen!
I hesitate to ask anything. Draco, what do you mean when you say the Jews hand wave away the
Shalom Aleichem.
What does that mean?
We have no idea. He just says dumb shit.
Smile. What does it mean? You're going to overtalk me and shut me down and try to dominate me, so there's no point. We can just move on.
Oh my God, dude, stop being such a baby. What does it mean when you say?
Hey, let me be a baby. I respectfully the conversation. How about you be an adult and respect that?
Just talk to me. Just talk to me, Clive. Just talk to me, Clive. Just talk to me, Clive. It's fine.
I can go tit for tat, bro. You're not gonna out-troll me, bro. I can tit for tat.
Just don't even.
I'm sorry, Draco. You said you bowed out. Okay, so nobody wants to hear your voice.
Okay, well,
you said no thank you.
Me then. Thank you very much.
Nobody's talking to you. Just be quiet.
Don't get the last word. Move on.
Thank you for muting.
I'm gonna keep going until you move on. Yeah, keep going.
Thank you for muting. Thank you.
No, I'm gonna get.
Hey everybody, this is Raw Ed. I'm just wondering, where's the focus? Where's the concentration of attention on the topic and the discussion? And really, what's the information packets that we're transferring to each other? Is it of high value? Is it necessary? What's the purpose right now, this conference call?
Hello?
Hello?
Lucy, I'm home.
Well, Desi Arnaz, the story of Lucy and her love affair, and, the point is, Megatron, Caleb, you do understand that Megatron, in Kabbalah, is Chokmah, is it not? Is it not the crown? So
That's the Metatron.
Oh, that's Metatron, not Megatron. Got it. Well, what's the opposite of Metatron?
What's the opposite of Metatron? I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it's Bina, right? Is it Bina?
Well, Chochmah and Bina are they are on opposite sides. That's true. Right? They're on opposite sides of the tree.
I'm just trying to say that maybe I just think because I read this whole thing about Megatron. I could read it to you. It's about Megatron, not Metatron. But either way, meta, to me, it's all just in the word. It's communication. So Megatron is just like a fun name. But look at his PTR. That's the Black Madonna, which is like a black hole. And I like black holes. But the point is, Caleb, look at your menorah. Look at the light. Look, what's the name of the pillar in the menorah that lights the other candles? I heard Shmuley B'Teach talking about it.
The shamash.
The shamash. The shamash. What does that mean metaphorically for us?
Well, metaphorically, I mean, all it is, legally speaking, all it is the helper candle, the one that lights all the other ones. There's an interesting thing about it. I mean, metaphorically, right? Be the one that lights everybody else on fire, right?
Firestarter. Isn't that a famous song, Firestarter? But lighting people on fire with wisdom, lighting people on fire with joy, lighting people on fire with high value, intelligent communication, not this internal emotional friction, which will hold you back from being where you want to be, which is at the center of happiness. And all the happiness and all the joy and all the pleasure and abundance that has ever been and ever will be is here right now. However, if you are here all the time squabbling and listening to conversational hypnosis, you will achieve no splendor, no victory. You will have obtained no kingdom.
Anyway, I still want to know what that verse in Hebrews was that is in question. I still want to look that up.
It's the verse where Hebrews is quoting. Yeah, I'll look it up. There's something about a body prepared for me.
Yeah, I had a good midrash explanation for it.
That's all.
Yeah, chapter and verse.
That's all.
That's it. Okay. Give me a second. Do you know what I mean?
Whenever you find it.
Okay.
And what was God's lawyer's point, that Hebrews is quoting Psalms incorrectly?
Yeah. So Hebrews 10:5, quoting Psalms 46-8, is he's like butchering the according to Malak's lawyer.
Well, so is it? I mean, this should be an objective question. Is it quoting accurately or not? Is it quoting the Septuagint version, or is it quoting?
Rabbi, I put it up at the top. Just click on the link at the top, and it'll tell you it. We don't have to discuss it all. It's all wrapped up in there. It's
but maybe he doesn't like read. Maybe he wants to talk.
Well, he's not going to understand it if you guys explain it.
God rest, God.
Yeah, there was so he's misquoting, and some person's argument is that he's quoting the Septuagint, and then God's lawyer, or not God's lawyer, Baal's lawyer, was saying that because God doesn't need a lawyer, so that would be fucking ridiculous to say such a thing. So Baal's lawyer said that the Septuagint wasn't written at the time, so he couldn't have been quoting him, the Septuagint.
At the time of when Hebrews is written?
Yeah.
I mean, the Septuagint definitely existed at the time of Hebrews.
Uh-oh. Well, that was Baal's lawyer's whole argument.
I mean, the Septuagint had existed probably for a few hundred years.
Draco?
Am I wrong?
I mean, I don't know. Draco, I don't know if you know. I don't know. I haven't really looked into this. So I'd be lying if I said...
Bro, I can't come back, dude. I'm gonna get harassed.
Yeah. So you can't appeal to Draco. We're just talking amongst ourselves. I put the explanation up at the top.
So Baal's lawyer was wrong then.
Well, so just explain it to me. Is Hebrews quoting the Septuagint version or the Hebrew version? Which one is it?
Septuagint version.
It's a Septuagint version, and what's Draco's argument? Draco's argument is that actually that must be the correct one.
That's the one we're using. The ones that Christians use. Yeah.
No, I don't think he's arguing that must mean it's correct, but he's just saying he's not misquoting
the Tanakh. He's just quoting.
No, this is a bad. Right. This is a bad argument because you don't have the source material for the Septuagint.
Right.
You don't have it. We don't have it. Right. So, and it's very possible. We don't have it. We don't have manuscripts of Hebrew Bible older than the Septuagint. We don't have any. So Draco's making an erroneous point because he thinks that simply having the oldest Greek one tells us what the older Hebrew versions would have said, and it doesn't necessarily do that. The translators might have made adjustments. And so if we compare, we would want to check the theological meanings, we would want to check the grammar, we would want to check what are the connotations of that word in the Greek versus the connotations of that word in the Hebrew. Right, so Draco's claim, if Draco's claim is that the Septuagint is perfectly reliable, being the oldest translation of the Hebrew Bible, and therefore we can know what the Hebrew Bible is, that's an erroneous claim.
Well, I was just saying that there's ways to check the tradition if you're going to appeal to tradition. And he didn't, and no one wanted to accept that as an answer. And I thought that was really bad to say that. Because then it's like, well, then how do we know the text period then? We're gonna need a scholarship tradition.
Right, and what happens when you check those scholarship traditions is you can find out which text the commentator had in front of them. Based on, right, if they're quoting the text, you can find out what did they have. And is that different than what other people had at different time periods? That's the way we want to use the Septuagint. Same kind of a way. Right? What text did the Septuagint had in front of them that rendered the translation that they got? Right, Draco? Come on, baby.
We can't appeal to
Come on.
What is this bread called? Sourdough? Oh shit.
It's yummy.
Moderators, point of order. I'd like to contribute a new proprietary submission packet to the conference call, if I may. It's called a 60-second poem. Do you have ears and patience to listen to 60 seconds of a poem read to you by your friend Raed? I'm not going to transmit unless I have a positive confirmation that my submission will be received with joy and gladness. It is FYA for you all. Hello?
How come, like, the most positive people have no problem being a huge asshole? And the most anxious, depressed, miserable people, like, all we care about is being good to others and making a better world and being kind to strangers and not cutting people off in traffic and standing up for what's right. I just had a friend of mine tell me that I'm the most miserable person that he's ever met. And he said, this is why nobody likes you. This is because I posted something on Facebook that he didn't like. And he left a snarky comment. And I said, hey,
King, are you there? King, are you there? No, King?
How come, like, the most positive
what's
people
up?
have no problem being
What's up,
a huge
King?
asshole?
What are you doing?
And the
Not
most
much, man.
anxious,
What's going on?
depressed, miserable
Nothing, chilling.
like, all we care about is being good
Can we
to
go over
others and
a
making
few
better
verses in the
world and
Quran?
being kind to strangers.
Well, yeah, you wanted to ask me something yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Sure, what's up?
There's a few interesting verses, right?
Hey everyone.
And I kind of strung them together.
I'm not sure why the poor and the middle class
in a way to see if you understand.
Hello?
All the laws and.
Are you down?
Okay.
Listen to it.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Hello.
So
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
let's hear it.
America.
Okay. So we have 4381.
Just be quiet.
That's where I want to start.
Don't get the last word. Move on.
As long as nobody ain't calling my new stream, no streams on their name, I don't give a shit.
Hey everybody, this is Ra, and I'm just wondering, where's the focus? Where's the concentration of attention on the topic and the discussion? And really, what's the information packets that we're transferring to each other? Is it of high value? Is it necessary? What's the purpose right now of this conference call? Hello? Well, Desi Arnaz, the story of Lucy and her love affair, and, the point is, Megatron, I mean, Caleb, you do understand that Megatron, in Kabbalah, is Kakma, is it not? Is it not the crown? So,
That's the Metatron.
oh, that's Metatron, not Megatron. Got it. Well, what's the opposite of Metatron?
What's the opposite of Metatron? I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it's Bina, right? Is it Bina?
They're on opposite sides of the tree.
I'm just trying to say that maybe, I just think, because I read this whole thing about Megatron. I could read it to you. It's about Megatron, not Metatron. But either way, meta, to me, it's all just in the word. It's communication. So Megatron is just like a fun name. But look at his PTR. That's the Black Madonna, which is like a black hole. And I like black holes. But the point is, Caleb, look at your menorah. Look at the light. Look, what's the name of the pillar in the menorah that lights the other candles? I heard Shmuley Bateach talking about it.
The Shamash.
The Shamash. The Shamash. What does that mean metaphorically for us?
Well, metaphorically, all it is, legally speaking, all it is the helper candle, the one that lights all the other ones. There's an interesting thing about it. Metaphorically, right? Be the one that lights everybody else on fire, right?
Firestarter. Isn't that a famous song, Firestarter? But lighting people on fire with wisdom, lighting people on fire with joy, lighting people on fire with high-value, intelligent communication, not this internal emotional friction, which will hold you back from being where you want to be, which is at the center of happiness. And all the happiness and all the joy and all the pleasure and abundance that has ever been and ever will be is here right now. However, if you are here all the time squabbling and listening to conversational hypnosis, you will achieve no splendor, no victory. You will have obtained no kingdom.
Anyway, I still want to know what that verse in Hebrews was that is in question. I still want to look that up.
It's madness and the hypnosis is you that bull.
The beast.
It's messy. Or we see just be quiet. Don't get the last word. Don't get the. Move on. Thank you for muting. Keep going until you're muted up. Yeah, keep going. You're muted.
You can answer the verse. Yeah, why would he chose her and purify her? above all
I
worlds.
mean, that's Allah's choice. She was meant to be that person.
Okay.
But she's known as the best woman in Islam, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's not like the best woman because she's just chosen above all women. It's not that she's the best of women because